figure out a way to make between 50 and 100,000 a year. I'm trying to figure out a way to make 100,000 to 500,000 a year, and I'm trying to find a better team to actually get and keep the money with, though. Not no average bum ass random bitch. Alright, y'all. This is what we're gonna do. Um, we're about to invite the smoking lounge to come smoke with us. Right now, it is officially 5:22 p.m. 1 hour, 2 minutes past 4:20 here on the West Coast, Northern California, Stockton, California, to be exact, baby. My name is Cherry Franklin, aka the Mistah. This is the Cherry Franklin Show, y'all, where we promote music, talk about the news, the stimulus check, current events, local events, as well as weed and music and freestyle sessions, y'all. We about to get into it today. We got a big fat mixture of about 3 or 4 different weeds, y'all. We do have gelato, we have birthday cake, wedding cake, and also a couple of other strands. I don't remember one of them. Something has to do with purple something, honey. I don't know if it was rents or if it was like what the fuck, I forgot what it's called, like berry white or some shit like that. I forgot what the other one is. But y'all, it's a very fine combination of mostly cookies. Like I said, maybe one Runts or one off brand that is not a cookies brand flavor. So y'all get into this smoke session. If you have not rolled a blunt, made a drink, a cup of coffee, or a sandwich, now's the time to do so, or fired up a square. We're about to get into some of the stimulus check updates. We're going to watch at least 2 videos totaling at least 30 minutes for Facebook and YouTube. Y'all make sure you check our description out for all the artists, creators, music, vendors, and venues that we support and that support us here on the show, especially locally in the Stockton community. Y'all, if you're looking for things out in the city and resources, there's a couple good artists and pages on there for you to start. If you manage a hip-hop company, you deal in rap music, you deal with urban, what they call urban or street clothing, okay? um, you know what I'm saying, videos, shows, concerts, festivals, all of that, y'all. It's all of that available there, as well as community stuff. um, and of course, we get on here every day to tell y'all the same thing. Please do what you can, where you can, when you can, especially for the quarantine pandemic conditions and stipulations. If you can vote, please do. Visit change.org to vote for the 4th stimulus check, the $2,000 check, and the Justice for the Say Their Names hashtag. Sign the petitions. If you do have a state ID, social security number, etc., you should be able to sign these petitions. Justice for George Floyd, justice for Ahmaud Arbery, justice for Breonna Taylor, justice for Vanessa Gillen, justice for Elijah McClain, justice for Ma'Khia Bryant, Adam Toledo, and the 8 Black men and women found hanging in the United States since the death of George Floyd in March 2020. The Justice Act, George Floyd Justice Act of 2020, calls for the state attorney general to demand internal affairs investigate for racially fueled and discriminative practices in local law enforcement agencies in every state. If you feel like any case, a minority death or a death in the Black community has been treated unfairly and mishandled, and not treated with the care and full investigation and respect to the threat and to the causes of the death, y'all could file with the George Floyd Justice Act of 2020 for your state to conduct an investigation with internal affairs. So just remember, George Floyd Justice Act of 2020 for racially discriminative or insensitive killings by the police and local law enforcement agencies. As well as vote.org. Vote for legalizing businesses, the number of business licenses available, public housing, public transportation, community programs, after school programs, social distance learning, free lunches, buses going to and from schools, churches, homeless shelters, free healthcare clinics, Planned Parenthoods, even the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Clubs, so many things y'all can vote on, as well as politicians running for office and propositions being written into bills and laws getting passed in your city and state. Every year, yo, they have an election in your state or a neighboring state. Y'all can check out vote.org to see what is available for you to vote on and what is coming up and when these elections will actually be taking place and win these votes. We're gonna get right into it, y'all. I done gave y'all 5 minutes on the intro. Again, if you have not rolled a blunt, made a drink, a cup of coffee, a sandwich, or fired up a square, now's the time to do so. You're looking at another at least 30 minutes of the Cherry Franklin Show broadcasting, as well as let us know in the comments, what is you smoking? What flavors are popular in your area? What is brand spanking new? And what is the best of the best of the best, sir, with honors? Y'all make sure you tell us what's the greatest weed and what not to get. Leave it in the comments because this is a smoke session show. We're going to go ahead and jump right into YouTube, y'all. Welcome to the 420 show.
What's up, you guys? It's Ron here with the latest news on your $2,000 fourth stimulus check update and the recurring stimulus check update. Democrat Representative Ilhan Omar has proposed a bill for regular $1,200 monthly payments. When do we begin this, and will this actually push through? News. According to the Treasury Department, Social Security trust funds are now projected to run out of money sooner than expected due to the virus. This pandemic is literally draining all sorts of wallets left and right. What could this mean for the retirees and other people who are on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and the like? More Americans are getting vaccinated after the full approval of the Pfizer virus vaccine. As cases continuously rise, this is a very good thing to see. We're going to discuss all of these and more in today's video, so definitely stick around to the end. But first, I want to say welcome back to all my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys are doing very well today. And for those who are brand new to the channel, my name is Ron. We cover all things personal finance, investing, cryptocurrencies, stock market updates, as well as stimulus check updates and stimulus package updates. So if you have not already, join the family, hit the subscribe button, and tap that notification bell. That way you're notified as soon as I release new videos and content. Let's jump in. Now, if you've compared the prices of your groceries and daily necessities to prices last year, you would notice that they are drastically different. Even the prices of some services have also increased. Your rent may be up for an increase very soon. Comment down below if your rent is scheduled to go up, and also let me know how much your rent is going to be going up. All of this is because of inflation. Many economists are speculating that inflation will continue to rise as the pandemic goes on. As inflation rises, prices of everyday goods like food, services, and other things, they all rise. The daily budget that you're setting aside today may not be enough in the coming months, as prices could go through the roof to almost double their price today. That's just the truth of inflation and what's soon to come. So how can we prepare for this and ensure the financial security of ourselves and for our family? The key here is not to work harder, but to invest smarter. Lately, I've been researching gold as an investment to protect myself against inflation and the possible expensive prices to come. Now, you guys should always consult a licensed professional advisor before making any kind of financial decisions, and this is certainly not financial advice. If you're curious to know how I'm preparing for the coming inflation and potential financial crisis and why gold may be my pick as my investment during this time, you should definitely get your free copy of the special report on gold that has been compiled by a team of millionaires that explains exactly why billionaires are stockpiling gold right now. What do they know that we don't know? Get your copy in the link in the description down below, or go to bigeconomicalerts.com.
The thing about gold is that it's worth a lot in every country. You can cash it in for currency in every country.
Has proposed a bill for regular $1,200 monthly stimulus check payments. When could we be getting this, and will this actually push through? Let's look at the details here. It says here that Representative Ilhan Omar, along with other progressive Democratic lawmakers, proposed legislation that would dole out regular stimulus checks or guaranteed income through monthly payments of up to $1,200 for adults and $600 for children. The Minnesota Congresswoman announced the proposal on Friday, stating that poverty is a choice in a press release and a Twitter post about the proposed legislation. Fellow Democratic Representatives Dwight Evans of Pennsylvania, Marie Newman of Illinois, and Jamal Bowman of New York also endorsed the bill. So it looks like Representative Ilhan Omar's proposed legislation will be for monthly stimulus checks of at least $1,200 for adults and $600 for children. Now, this is not the first time that the Democrats cooked up something like this. In fact, some senators like Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren, they called for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks earlier last year. This new proposal from Ilhan Omar just adds to the list of numerous calls for monthly stimulus check payments from the Democrats. Now, could they actually get these proposals, or at least part of these proposals, to be included in the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, aka the stimulus bill? That's the big question. Remember, Congress is currently working on the stimulus bill right now. They're actually crafting the legislation for the bill, and the Democrats want to include many things in there. Some stimulus items include Medicare expansion, free community college, universal pre-K, and the extension of child tax credits, not to mention the improvement of house credits, and so much more. Could they actually add a fourth stimulus check and maybe even monthly stimulus checks in there too? It really would not be unprecedented if they did, especially seeing how there's already multiple calls for stimulus checks from the Democrats. So the possibility is definitely there, guys. Everything is up for negotiation from the moment they started crafting the bill until the moment they actually signed the bill into law. So anything is possible. I just don't want to get you guys' hopes up just yet, but I do want you to understand what proposals are currently on the table right now. You guys know how Congress is with the twists and the turns, so, it's to be expected. It's definitely going to be hectic, to say the least. But let's go back to Ilhan Omar's proposed legislation. Let's see what she said in this tweet. Poverty is a choice. It's time we prioritize new economic indicators and economic policies that will prioritize sustainable and equitable growth. Today, we're introducing two bills, a guaranteed income bill and a bill to establish an alternative economic metric. Poverty is a choice. That seems to be a poor choice of words at first glance. But once taken into context, she's actually implying here that the government can stop poverty if they choose to. The proposal that she's bringing forward is one of the solutions the government can choose and implement to lessen poverty. But let's see what she said in her official statement here. She said, "For too long, we have prioritized endless growth while millions are homeless, hungry, or without health care. The pandemic has laid bare these inequalities. We as a nation have the ability to make sure that everyone has their basic needs like food, housing, and healthcare met." Omar pointed to pilot programs in various places around the country that have provided guaranteed income to some Americans. The Congresswoman also argued that the United States should become the leader in measuring and safeguarding our people's economic well-being. This is what she said during legislation. So this is where she's coming from here. Now, the pandemic has indeed shown us the inequalities that we as a country are facing. Many people are struggling to get by in our country despite the successes that we have in other aspects, and that's just the truth. And that's why the government handed out stimulus checks in the first place. That's why we have assistance programs. Ilhan Omar wants to safeguard the well-being of all Americans with her legislation, and that sounds like a pretty noble cause. But let's continue. It says the program, if the legislation were to pass, would not immediately begin sending out $1,200 stimulus checks to most Americans. Instead, it would create a $2.5 billion grant program to fund pilot guaranteed income programs across the country. The programs would be studied from 2023 to 2027, and then the national program will begin in 2028, according to Minneapolis WCCO TV reports. The legislation would also provide $1,200 per month to people making $75,000 per year. The heads of households with an income of up to $112,500 would receive $1,200 under the program, and $600 would be provided for each minor child. Now, if passed, it looks like this legislation could be set to be implemented in 2028, which is still pretty far from today. In fact, that's almost a decade away. However, this is a good sign of what is to come. Now, on top of that, this adds to the idea of giving more stimulus to the people, and I'm pretty sure that the Democrats won't be ignoring this. Now, will they add a fourth stimulus check into the $3.5 trillion stimulus bill? What do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Up next, breaking news, according to the Treasury Department, Social Security trust funds are now projected to run out of money sooner than expected due to the pandemic. But how soon is sooner than expected, right? Are Social Security benefits at risk here? You guys are going to want to hear this one. Let's look into the details. It says here that Social Security trust fund that most Americans rely on for their retirement will soon run out of money in 12 years, 1 year sooner than expected, according to an annual government report published on Tuesday. The outlook, aggravated by the pandemic, also threatens to shrink retirement payments and increase healthcare costs for older Americans. 12 years. It looks like the pandemic is affecting everything in our society today, and its effects have now reached the Social Security Trust Fund. 12 years from now is 2033, a little more than a decade from today. Now, the year may seem far away, but that's the government's role of always looking forward and planning ahead regarding things like this. This just means that we have 12 years to prepare for this, and that's a pretty big head start. But let's continue. The Treasury Department oversees two Social Security funds, the Old Age and Survivors Insurance and Disabilities Insurance Trust Fund. These programs are designed to provide a source of income, respectively, to former workers who have retired at the end of their careers or those who cannot work due to a disability. Officials said that the Old Age and Survivors Trust Fund is now able to pay scheduled benefits until 2033, 1 year earlier than reported last year. The Disability Insurance Fund is estimated to be adequately funded through 2057, 8 years earlier than in the report published in 2020. So what they're saying here is that 2033 and 2057 are the key dates here. Now, what's worrisome here is that last year's report for the Disability Insurance Fund estimated that 2065 would be the end date for fund. Now it's 2057. But why are these funds running out earlier than expected? The answer is simple: the pandemic. Deaths among Americans in retirement age in 2020 spiked up, which helped keep costs low. However, this also means that while more older people are dying, more people are also unemployed or out of work. The article goes into that here. In other words, Social Security costs in the form of monthly payments to retirees now exceeded the income it takes in from U.S. workers. Projected to soon consistently operate in the red, the program's reserve fund would be depleted around 2033. If Congress does not act by that time, Social Security law could cut benefit checks for retirees by about 20% across the board. For a demographic that has planned on these payments and usually has few other avenues of income, a 20% reduction could prove disastrous and threaten to throw many Americans into poverty. Can you imagine you're depending on your Social Security payment to hit your bank account every month, and all of a sudden it's 20% less? I mean, it's already pretty small as it is. Majority of individual SSI recipients are only receiving around $794 a month. So let's just say roughly 20% of that is $160. Can you imagine getting $160 less per month on your regularly monthly scheduled Social Security payment? That doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun to me. Now, if things stay the way that they are right now, then the funds would be depleted by 2033. Hopefully, things get back to normal sooner than later. Cutting benefits by 20% for retirees is not a small number. This will affect millions of Americans, and this would throw many families into a huge predicament. We know about this information now, so the government can actually formulate steps to avoid that situation. Now, lastly, Social Security has long known it faces a simple math problem. With thousands of baby boomers retiring every single day, there is an insufficient number of younger people entering the workforce to offset the cost. It's just simple math, guys. It also does not help that the pandemic is making work for numerous industries very difficult. So we're in for a wild ride in the next few years. But what do you guys think about this one? Should we allow more industries to operate now to mitigate the consequences of the economic crisis? I'd love to hear you guys' feedback on this one. Hit me up in the comments. All right, guys, last but not least, more Americans are getting vaccinated after the full approval of the Pfizer virus vaccine. Now, this is one step closer to actually getting out of this pandemic, so this is actually pretty good news. So let's look into the details here. It says here that thousands of Americans were finally persuaded to get their first shot in the week following the Food and Drug Administration's full approval of the Pfizer-BioNTech virus vaccine, according to new data. A new ABC News analysis found that the initial data stemming from the last 7 days indicates that since the FDA's announcement of the approval, the United States has indeed seen a slick uptick in the average number of Americans getting their first virus vaccine dose. The vaccine hesitancy of many Americans seems to have gone down due to the full FDA approval of the vaccine. Now, with cases on the rise now for the past few weeks, it is great to see that more people are willing to go and try to help the fight against the virus. So that's a good sign in terms of the recovery. This is also timely as schools are being reopened across the country. But let's continue. Just prior to the announcement, the United States rate of the first dose had stagnated, although the country experienced an increase in people initiating vaccination in July as new virus cases surged across the country. The average number of Americans getting their first dose had declined. However, following Pfizer's full approval by the FDA, of course, the U.S. saw a 17% increase in the number of Americans getting vaccinated with their first dose. I'd love to hear from you guys. How many of you guys have actually been waiting for the FDA approval before actually getting your shot? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Now, a 17% increase is not a small number just to scoff at. Before the approval, the average was about 404,000 vaccinations per day. but as of Monday, it's approximately 473,000 per day. The increase is apparent, and this could mean an upward trend. By the end of the year, we could see the pandemic come to a gradual end if things go well. It says here that we now have a fully approved virus vaccine, and ACIP has added its recommendation. If you've been waiting for the approval before getting the vaccine, now is the time to get vaccinated and join the more than 173 million Americans who are already fully vaccinated, according to the CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky. This is what she said in a statement on Monday. Now, of course, the CDC is calling for more people to get vaccinated if they can. Now, I'm not for you guys getting a vaccine or against you guys getting a vaccine. I just want to share the news with you guys and let you guys know where we stand. If you want to, it's your call. If you don't want to, I respect that too. But what do you guys think about this information? How do you guys feel about the full FDA approval? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. So anyway, guys, that's all for the news on your fourth stimulus check update. We covered the recurring stimulus check update. We covered Representative Ilhan Omar's proposed $1,200 monthly stimulus payments, Social Security trust funds projected to run out sooner than expected, and more Americans getting vaccinated after the full FDA approval of the Pfizer vaccine. Also, if you're curious as to why I'm choosing gold as an important investment right now and how I'm actually preparing myself and my family against the coming inflation, definitely be sure to get your free copy of the special report on gold that was compiled by a team of millionaires that explains why billionaires are stockpiling gold. What exactly have they figured out that the average American hasn't figured out yet? Get your free copy right now using the link in the description down below. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really hope you guys appreciated everything we covered today. And if you have not already, if you like this video, definitely subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you're notified as soon as I release new videos and
content. Anyway, they have a stipulation if you file outside. Y'all make sure you follow him. He was not a bad speaker at all. And he did give us a little bit of insight on who's making the proposals and bringing things to vote in Congress as well. Like, good source. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. The stipulation to fly outside of the country. Quarantine in a hotel for 10 days and quarantine in a home location for 4 days. At a home location or in your residence or wherever you're going to be at. Like, did you know that to leave the country, there's a 14-day, 10 days in the hotel, and 4 in your living quarters, quarantine, mandatory. No? Alright, I'm not going to get too deep into that. I'm just going to tell y'all. They are requiring vaccination cards to do so many things, like travel, to fly out of country, some to return to work or school. So if y'all feel safe with any type of vaccine, can y'all let us know in the comments, like, exactly which vaccine is it that you think is going to be safe? And let us know why, guys. There's like 3 different type of vaccines they say is not effective against the Delta variant of COVID, as well as unvaccinated individuals are still capable of infecting already vaccinated or immunized individuals. They're calling their purpose, their priority, supposedly has been to get everyone vaccinated. Then it's also to get everyone back to work. They sent troops to foreign things and then withdrew troops. Y'all know they've been doing some deadly things in the Middle East lately. Okay. We say all that to say this. If you could, please use your voice. If you work for the city, the county, or the state, please tell your state Senate representative. Please issue a 4 stimulus check. $1,200, $600, $1,400. It's nowhere near enough to help any American family, with much less the rent and utilities, much less to to survive the entire year and more of the quarantine. If you are a regular citizen, you have a job where you live or pay rent, head a household, hell, even kids, write them and tell them. Or you can visit change.org and vote for the forced stimulus check petition for the amount of $2,000, as well as sign petitions for the justice for the Say Their Names hashtags, justice for George Floyd, justice for Ahmaud Arbery, justice for Breonna Taylor, justice for Vanessa Gillen, justice for Elijah McClain, justice for Ma'Khia Bryant and Adam Toledo, justice for the 8 black men and women found hanging in the U.S. since the death of George Floyd in March of 2020. Again, please make a difference in your city and state. Also, vote in your city and state, specifically for legalizing businesses, business licensing, public housing, public transportation, community programs, educational programs, free lunches, school transportation, social distance learning, after school programs, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, free healthcare clinics, even Planned Parenthoods, politicians running for office, propositions being written into bills and laws. All of that can be found at vote.org. So, if you have a state ID, a driver's license, you own property, you work somewhere within that city and state, please make a difference where you can, when you can. Also, if you are low on funds or low on health insurance, please visit mdsave.com, as in Dr. MD, and save you some money. That's mdsave.com for online underground coupons and vouchers for medical and hospital needs and procedures in your state and surrounding states. mdsave.com. If you need some money and you have a PayPal, download the FitPlay app where you can be a video game tester, earn points that will cash out into PayPal cash that you can spend like regular cash. Once again, that's the FitPlay app on Google Play for Android. If you have a PayPal. All right, time for the next one. Y'all ready? I mean, I'm not, but what can we do? I gotta know what else they gotta say. This is the one I don't agree with sometimes, but it's fun. He's entitled to his own opinion, and you're entitled to.
Hello, and welcome to today's September 2nd daily news report, as well as ongoing stimulus package information video. If you're a subscribed member of my community, then welcome back. And if you're not, consider subscribing right now so I can keep you up to date on what's going on in Washington, D.C., the next stimulus package, the U.S. economy, money, investing, and much, much more. All right, this is your daily reminder to go sign up for the new September giveaway. Casey and I are giving away $10,000 in cash, and we're super excited to help get that money into the hands of those that need a little extra spending money right now. I've been getting all of these emails from the past winners, people sending me thumbs ups and peace signs or telling their story about battling cancer. Anyway, I'll be sharing those with you probably tomorrow, but those good news reports are because of viewers like you. So you had a hand in helping to bless those people's lives, and I'm excited for the giveaway for September. So I'll make sure to leave the link below and you can go get signed up. All right, now I have a crazy story to share with you at the end of this video, so stay tuned, and I definitely want to hear from you. I want to know your thoughts on this. All right, now yesterday I told you how over 2,000 lobbyist groups are trying to insert their wants and their needs into the next $3.5 trillion stimulus package, and they want it all done without raising any taxes on their business partners. Well, Senate Budget Committee Chair and the head of the stimulus package, Senator Bernie Sanders, said, "Not this time," right? He's pushing back on these lobbyists. Sanders said, "This is what oligarchy and a corrupt political system are all about. The rich and large corporations get richer, and their lobbyists do everything possible to protect the wealth and the greed. Now, not this time. We must pass a reconciliation bill that works for all, not just the few." So Sanders says, not this time, I'm not having it. I'm here for the American people, right? However, groups like Business Roundtable, National Association of Manufacturers, and Rate Coalition have vowed to campaign against proposed tax hikes. They plan to spend lots of money and time to fight the tax increases in the next stimulus package. Now, personally, I'm on the fence because on the one hand, you need tax in order to fund these programs without adding to the national debt. On the other hand, I think most of us are smart enough to know that businesses having their taxes increased are just going to pass it on to you and me in the form of higher prices. Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see which direction Senator Sanders and other top Democrats take this fight. Now, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is coming out swinging. They are already committing to running ads that publicly oppose the bill and show why raising taxes is bad for the economy and U.S. citizens. They also say they plan to stop political contributions to progressive Democrats and push that same money over to backing moderate Democrats. Businesses really like the $1.2 trillion physical infrastructure bill because it didn't raise taxes on people or businesses, but they are aggressively opposed to tax increases to cover pet projects and other wasteful spending. Now, businesses support stimulus checks because it gets money to people that can then go spend it. They are also opposed to overly taxing citizens because it gives citizens less buying power when the federal government takes in too much tax money from us. So this showdown is just getting started, and I'll be here to help you make sense of all of it in the coming days. It's going to get ugly, you guys. Now, when it comes to Washington, D.C., most issues come down to taxes and pay-fors. In the case of the $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill, it got bipartisan support from Democrats and Republicans and businesses because all but $250 billion paid over a 10-year period were accounted for or paid for. Whereas the $3.5 trillion stimulus package requires increasing taxes on corporations from 21% to 28%. Now, Mara Quint, who is the executive director of the Progressive Group Tax March, put out a statement yesterday to remind Democrat leaders that taxing the rich is a very good talking point. You can bring up taxing the rich anytime, and it will gain attention and popularity. So Democrats are definitely using this idea of taxing the rich in order to help the poor in their upcoming campaign season. But will it work, right? The rich are rich for a reason, and they're going to push back. And these businesses that have very deep pockets and can pay for these lobbyists are also going to push back. Now, I have a question for my community, and I would love to hear from you. Do you think that lobbyists are a good thing or a bad thing for the American people? Do you think that it helps drive the economy and the country forward by having lobbyists? Or does it ultimately leave the American people behind? I'd really love to hear your comments down below. So thank you in advance. By the way, thank you guys so much for giving these videos a like. I just love bringing you guys the news. All right, now I swear some people in politics or government positions have little to no brains. And I try to be a kind person, but every now and then I come across a story that just doesn't make any sense. A school system in Wisconsin.
Let's cut him off. Y'all, we was just checking up on the news for the fourth stimulus check. Again, change.org and vote.org to make a difference. So far, they're talking about removing the fourth stimulus check one-time payment, proposing into the package monthly stimulus check payments, but they're acting like monthly checks is what they don't want, and they would approve it if they would put in the one-time stimulus check payments. So just a couple things to keep in mind: what you want to say, what you want to feel, or how you want to feel, or what you want to tell people. Especially if you know any state workers, Congress members, Senate, or work for the city or the state. Yeah. Please make sure you do what you can where you can. We're gonna cut off of Facebook and Instagram because I got the cameras real low and I'm tired of hunching down so I could be in the camera. Supposed to be up here. So I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, all of that. TikTok, Spotify at The Cherry Franklin Show. All the pay sites on the background as well. Thank y'all for being here, making me a top streamer, and thank y'all for my money. I see over 70, 80 viewers, well over 120, 130 viewers for that duration. Thank y'all for being here. Again, we're going to cut off on Facebook and YouTube, but I was talking to all of y'all. But we're going to cut off on Facebook and YouTube as well. Thank y'all. You're beautiful. Your soul is beautiful. Your energy is positive. You're important to me, your community, your family, and your friends. And I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. We're running my numbers way up. Once again, make sure you subscribe.